So the last thing is a little bit kind of maybe not even quite so rational. Don't recreate the suburb, although lots of cities in the downtown areas are doing precisely that, because they think that that's the way you would attract people who love the suburbs. Certainly learn from management systems and other things in the suburbs, but don't recreate them, because that's not what's going to make them a point of embarkation for those who grew up in the suburbs. You have to do something else. Whoops. Sorry. Right? This scene can never take place in a suburban environment. This happens to be Madison, Wisconsin, during a summer morning farmers market along their main street, which stretches about a mile, and all the way around the state capitol, all the way around the grounds. This scene cannot take place in suburban America. Right? So, the ninth and final indicator is to continue to invest, as you have over the past 25 years, continue to invest in public and private enterprises and in the public realm, which is what the city is about, as opposed to the private realm, which is where one lives away from the vitality of cities. So I wanted to end with just two projects, one of which is very modest, and a little architecture effort from our office, and one in which I had very little role in, but I think is amazing, and I hope will inspire you. We just completed this building. It's a giant refrigerator from very modest budget. It's the food bank for New England. It collects food and distributes food to 300 shelters in eastern Massachusetts. So this organization had no money, not a lot of money. It had a crummy site, but of course next to it a very congested highway. That's where everyone goes to the Cape from Boston, right? Just outside of the downtown area. And so what we did was still try to invest in the public realm. And the way this was done here was these little, on a refrigerator, which cannot have windows, was to add these little tabs. These tabs are the same thing. They're about a foot high and 8 inches wide. The same material that you use on stop signs. They reflect, right? Headlights reflect the stop sign, right? And so as you drive by this building, that it's like a little ticker tape. And the logo of the building reveals itself, this sort of shadow weaved. And look at what happens at night. So this is not glass, this is not mirrors, this is not windows, this is not some electricity. These are these little tabs that are given light by all those hundreds of thousands of cars that drive by there. So however humble the initiative might be, give something back to the public realm, because that's what urbanism is all about in the end. The priority given to what is public and shared as opposed to what is private. Now, let me end with this design. My role was being a judge on a competition for which the designers were. Look, this is in Seoul, Korea, one of the most congested in terms of automobile cities on the planet right now. If you travel in Asia right now, you realize that we have no traffic in the States. We have none. So look at this environment. It's 10 kilometers long, about 6 miles, 6.2 miles. And it is full of people now. Full of people along the entire 10 kilometers. It looks like a little river. It actually is essentially a pool. Now look at what it replaced. A few years ago, this was a highway. This was an elevated highway. I bet you don't believe me yet, right? But this is the very same place, but I'll show you in a second. And a fairly courageous mayor of Seoul said, let's get rid of this highway. And people thought he was nuts. But he wasn't yet at his term limit. He was trained as a planner, by the way. He just said, let's get rid of the highway. And people thought that, oh my God, Armageddon would come, just like 2 weekends ago when, the LA highway was closed for 5 hours, right? No, nothing happened there, right? So he just said, let's get rid of it. And traffic found its way elsewhere. So in fact, this was the alignment of an old little creek that connected, that drained the mountains into a major river in Seoul, which this is not. And of course, over time, like old creeks, it became a sort of an open sewer, and of course needed to be kind of improved upon. And so first a It was covered by a surface road, and then, of course, as traffic demands necessitated, it gained an elevated road, and something like 200,000 cars a day traveled these 10 kilometers as they connected other highways. And this mayor just said, let's get rid of it. By the way, we think we did that in Boston. Don't you believe it? We built a wider highway below ground, right? That's what we did, with your tax dollars, by the way. Thank you very much. But in Seoul, a much more congested city, they just got rid of this damn thing. And the result is this incredible environment. And by the way, notice something else, right? Notice the scale of the buildings when this was a highway just a few years ago, and notice the scale of the buildings right now, right? And it tells you something about what's important about cities. It tells you a lot. And it tells you also about how courageous we all need to be to continue to improve the quality of life in our cities. Thank you very much.